Welcome back. So our guest for tonight is Professor Kwabena Frimpong-Boateng. Before we talk to him, here's a quick profile of the man.
In 1985, Professor Kwabena Frimpong-Boateng became the first black person to perform a heart transplant, achieving the feat in Germany. At the time, he was recognized worldwide for his historic accomplishment. In November 1988, he again made history by performing the first heart-lung transplantation in Hanover. Professor Frimpong-Boateng returned to Ghana in 1989 to establish the National Cardiothoracic Center at the Ghana Heart Foundation. He is a founding director of the National Cardiothoracic Center and currently serves as the president of the Ghana Heart Foundation. He joined the University of Ghana Medical School in 2000, where he was promoted to Associate Professor of Surgery the same year and attained full rank of professor in 2002. Widely regarded as the father of open heart surgery in Ghana, Professor Frimpong-Boateng has trained several cardiothoracic surgeons for Ghana and other African countries. His passion for humanitarian service led him to establish the Frimpong-Boateng Medical Center in Tuase, Ashanti region in 2001 to provide healthcare for residents in the area. Together with his partners, Mr. Kwesi Osei-Ofori and Mr. James Osei-Brown, he also established the Providence Specialist Hospital in Achimota to provide specialist medical care. Professor Frimpong-Boateng graduated from the University of Ghana Medical School in 1975 with MB CHB degrees. After completing his housemanship at Kolebu Teaching Hospital, he served as a medical officer at Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital, where he was also a demonstrator in gross anatomy at the School of Medical Sciences from 1977 to 1978. In 2007, Professor Frimpong-Boateng was also one of the 17 candidates who contested for the flag bearership of the MPP. In 2017, he was appointed Minister for Environment, Science and Technology under President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
So, heart surgeon, politician, educationist, what else can you call him? Farmer, a man of many paths. Prof, thanks for joining us. Good evening.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to be here with you.
Wow. What are you doing these days?
Yeah, these days, the usual things, farming, education, building institutions, establishing linkages between some Ghanaian institutions and German institutions, and many other things. Yeah.
Do you still practice medicine?
Yes, I do.
As a specialist?
Yes,
and
operate from time to time.
You get invited to do surgeries? Because yes. your practice, you're a heart surgeon.
I get to do surgery, some special cases, in a private hospital established by some friends of mine and me.
So, do doctors ever retire?
No, you are not supposed to retire. You have to keep going, and so long as God gives you strength and breath, you have to keep on going.
I see. So, even though you are no longer a young man, you can still oversee a full surgery.
Oh, yeah.
Manage a team, put everything together, talk them through the process.
Let me tell you something. Last time I was somewhere and we had an operation which was complex, and I stood on my legs for 12 hours.
Recently?
Yeah.
You stood on your legs for 12 hours?
12 hours.
Is that how long?
No, it was not supposed to be that long, but we had some issues along the way, so we had to do many things, and that's why.
And he made it?
Yes.
Usually in a surgery team, there's a leader, right? Because when we watch the movies, we notice somebody's talking to other people. I haven't seen a real life heart surgery before, but usually there's somebody who's like the lead surgeon who will be telling them, do this, bring this, and then they'll be, how does it work?
Oh, it's not, the lead surgeon is there, but he has 2 or 3 surgeons assisting him. Then you have the anesthetist putting the patient to sleep, making sure everything works well. Then you have the person running the heart-lung machine. That's the machine that takes over the functions of the heart and the lungs.
Whilst the surgery is going on.
Whilst you have stopped the heart and surgery is going on. Then you have the nurse, the instrument nurse, and the circulating nurses who help her bring things when she needs them, and so on. And then after that, you have the intensive care nurses and the intensive care doctors. So it's quite a big team. So the surgeon is the lead, but all the others are very important.
I think you came to do this thing in Ghana in 1986, is that correct?
No.
What year was it? When did you come back?
I came back in December 88, so we started in 89. And
So that's like 37 years ago.
yes, but we started the real surgery 35 years ago. Because the first 2 years were for preparations and so on, setting up the place.
How much has our capacity to do heart surgery grown if you compare 1989 to 2026?
Well, it has not grown that much because there has not been the adequate investment in equipment and also training. Training is very, very important. We have to train people all the time for the next generations. But that has been lacking. But having said that, there are private hospitals in Ghana that do investigations, diagnostics, echocardiography, heart investigations. But there are only a few centers that are able to do the surgery. So I'm hoping that maybe some bold private people will get involved.
So it's a question of investment.
Investment.
And training.
And training especially.
But aren't there doctors training? And there specialists? I think there's a college of physicians and surgeons.
Yeah,
is it that people are not interested in the heart specialty?
No, they are. But you see, we need equipment because things are growing very fast and developing very fast, and we need to be abreast with time. There are very motivated, intelligent people around, but then somebody must be there, lead and train and get the equipment there so that we can be abreast with the rest of the world. I mean, I don't like things like, oh, we are good in West Africa, we are good in Africa, south of the Sahara, and so on. No. If we are good, we should be at par with the rest of the world, and that is...
But at least you're able to do all types of heart surgery in Ghana, as you speak?
No, not all types.
Not all?
No.
Which types can't we do?
Well, I cannot sit here and say, for example, we cannot do transplant of the heart, the lungs, heart lung. We cannot do certain things in the heart. We do a lot of pediatric cases, but then some are sent outside for surgery. And this is because we need to train some more and equipment and human resource, and also expand the facility. The cardio center is too small, and I wish that the University of Ghana Medical Center is coming up, and I hope that one too will come up and absorb some of the pressures.
So of course, health is always your interest.
Yes.
So, by the way, it's in assessing the government, can you, in 1 year, are you able to point out to health and say, even in health, this guy is doing well or not? Or is it 1 year too early in a 4-year term to assess a government?
I don't attempt to assess any government because, first of all, there must be a plan.
Okay.
A plan that survives the present government and move into the future. And I've not seen this plan ever in the Fourth Republic.
What do you mean?
No, because first of all, in 1995, President Rawlings introduced Vision 2020. He introduced that in Parliament. But then he lost the elections. And that was the end of that Vision 2020. And when MPP won and came to power, Mustafa Mahfoud, who was the then finance minister, said as far as he was concerned, the Vision 2020 was dead. And he introduced the Vision 2015. And that too didn't provide anything. And so there have been visions and dreams and so on all along. But these are not, these things are like a party manifesto, wishful thinking, not backed by science, technology, and innovation. So I don't look at what is happening.
I don't understand. You are saying that since you started following the Fourth Republic, you haven't seen a plan.
I haven't seen a plan, a development plan, a plan that will outlive a government and become a national plan. Because see, as far as I'm concerned, if any plan that does not have any role for universities, for academic institutions, for research institutions, that thing cannot stand the test of time.
But I've seen medium-term development plans that, in fact, when you were in government, they were working under a framework. It was Ghana Shared Growth Development Framework, which was like a 6 or 7 year plan. NDC-1 had a similar plan. So there's always a document that even when they read the budget, it falls under, and it has a specific name. Is that not what a plan is?
No. So if you want to see a proper plan, just look at what the Chinese did in March 1986, when 4 weapon scientists wrote a letter to Deng Xiaoping that said China is concentrating on weapons, and we are spending all our technology on weapons. If we don't change our strategy, we will miss the technology revolution that will help us to create things. And so Deng Xiaoping said, that is good. And so this Chinese set up what we call the satellite program 863. And they spend money to set up research institutions, programs to research into biotechnology, space technology, information technology, laser, automation, energy, advanced material science, and the other telecommunications and marine technology in 1992 and 1996. So we see that in 2006, the Chinese doubled their efforts in alternative energy. At that time, they did not even have solar energy and wind energy. But then, soon, 5 years later, they were the #1 manufacturers of solar energy and wind energy. So you need to set up the research institutions and work with them. For example, there is a drug discovery unit in the University of Ghana. And if you assist this unit a little bit, they will come out with 1 or 2 drugs that can be used throughout the world. And that one thing alone will be able to sustain Ghana. But you see, we don't have any plan for education, for industry, for transportation, and so on. So I don't see it.
What do you mean? I interviewed Dr. Nimoy Thompson in November. We spoke about a development plan that was being put in place. He did over 1.5 hour presentation on where we see Ghana in the next half century. I thought that should be a plan.
It wasn't. To me, it wasn't a plan. I mean, Nimoy Thompson is a brilliant fellow. I like him, he's my friend. But if you say you are going to increase the road network from 78,000 kilometers to 250,000 in 20-something years, and you don't know where the money is come from, who is going to build the roads, and what is going to happen, then that's not a plan. It's maybe it's hard to say wishful thinking. It cannot succeed.
No, but have you seen the document? Because all he did was to give me highlights. It was like a presentation
I saw it.
Of highlights. It wasn't the full document.
I saw it, and I went back and got the transcript of your questions and his answers. Yeah.
And you don't think that we have a plan?
No.
You are serious?
I'm very serious.
What did he say in the interview that made you think that there was no planning? Because, of course, as I said, I was interviewing him on the highlights.
Yes, even the highlight. Yes. For example, if we say that in 2047, that is 21 years' time, Ghana will attain a status of high-income economy, industrialized, diversified, export-oriented, resilient economy. It cannot happen in 21 years with the plans that we are adoring, or we are talking about. 1995, President Rowan said, look, when this Vision 2020 is over, Ghana will become a middle-income country and will have a status similar to Singapore. And then in 2011, we declared that Ghana was a middle-income country, and there was no mention of Singapore.
I mean, so let me tell you what we did. The president in October launched the NDPC Ghana Infrastructure Plan.
Yes.
Which was to incorporate the big push. The big push was sort of brought into that. The president, speaking at the launch, said, we inherited Nkrumah's dream, but we had to fulfill it. Nkrumah gave us a blueprint, and the Ghana Infrastructure Plan provides us with the tools while the big push would deliver the results. The GIP, which is the Ghana Infrastructure Plan, second since Ghana gained independence in 1957, will be the foundation of Ghana's long-term national development. It also aims to improve Ghana's energy infrastructure, transport infrastructure, water infrastructure, housing, and ICT, among others, by 2055. The launch marked a revival of the long-term infrastructure strategy initially developed in 2016 and revised in 2019, but shelved for years. President Mahama said the plan provides a strategic reset and renewed commitment to building a resilient and inclusive Ghana. How are you telling me it's not a plan? That's the plan.
No, look, you see, the thing is, if you tell me you are going to increase our power generation from 5,000 to 50,000 megawatts in 11 years, that is 900% increase. With what you have now, how can you convince anybody that this is going to be possible? From 5,000 megawatts to 50,000 megawatts in 11 years. What are you going to do? Where is the money come from? Who is going to do it? The Ghanaian engineers or what? Or who? So these are the questions that we have to ask ourselves. Yeah, you can say something, but whether it's reasonable and that can be achieved, we have to talk about these things.
Well, the Energy Ministry had announced, and I'm not answering for them, but they had announced that they're going to build some new plants, gas processing, to increase to decrease our dependence on the traditional gas from Nigeria. So they're going to make sure that what we got in the Western Enclave was converted to power. They spoke about the 10 and what they were going to do with it. I think the new Energy Minister has spoken about that. So are you just saying that 11 years is too short a time? Don't you think that you should maybe get the full document, read through it, and see if it makes sense before you dismiss it?
No, what I'm saying is, if you tell me that with what we have now, knowing the way we do things, we are going to increase power generation from 5,000 to 50,000 megawatts in 11 years.
Because VRA has said that they will boost power generation by 1,800 megawatts. So, for example, November 18, the Volta River Authority announced plans to expand its power generation capacity to up to 1,800 megawatts over the next 5 years, aiming to strengthen its role in Ghana's electric sector. Jabesh Misata said policy restrictions introduced. So basically, if you add 1,800 to the 5,000 or 6,000 we have, you are close to.
No, Jabesh Misata is a very.
Yeah. Then this is just November last year that they said this.
He's a specialist. He's a respected energy person. But what I'm saying is that if you give me the figures, and I don't see how these things are going to happen. We were talking about nuclear energy, and so far we have not even decided which technology we are going to get, who is going to build that thing for us. And nuclear technology takes years, 15, 20, 25 years before you get a thing done. And so far, we've been dancing around this thing for about 10 years now. And so, if we decide today that we are going to do the nuclear energy, it's going to take...
So let me get you straight. You're saying you don't see any indication that the government is running with a long-term plan that can transform the country.
This is what I'm saying. And if we do things without the involvement of the engineering people, Ghana Institute of Engineering, KNUST.
But how do you know they are not involved? They are. When I interviewed Doc last week or so, I think on the Constitution, he said even the very nature of the way the NDPC works, they do have access to various technical experts who work with them.
If you invite,
and they have technical heads. So beyond he did say that they have technical heads for the NDPC. In fact, it was an interview we had here last week. And these heads include professors, engineers, and all these people.
You see, we always talk about the beginning and then the end point. We are going to do this going to get 50,000. But this is a roadmap. And there must be milestones and when to achieve them. We need to get all these details. And if we look at the science and technology infrastructure that we have now, nothing convinces me that we can do this. Or we just want to accumulate money and then give them to Chinese or other people to come and do this thing for us. And we are not going to get involved in anything.
So when you were a minister, are you saying that government was not working with any plan? Because you were a minister for 4 years. So are you telling me that you were a minister for a government and was working without a plan? So what were you doing then as minister?
No. Listen, let me tell you what I did, or what we did. We knew that it is, and in fact, President Ronnie said it, that in I'll get a quote, what he said for you. He said, it's only science and technology that can help us transform our nation and also preserve the environment. Now, what we did was, we saw that the poverty gap was a technology gap. And therefore, my ministry, MESTI, and the Ghana Institute of Engineering, we organized a conference, the ABRI Pediatric Conference. And we got money from one of the few economists that I trust, Zakwan PNM. He organized funds from the MasterCard Foundation for us to have that conference in a brief 3-4 days. We were there looking at ways to bridge the technology gap. We had participants from America, from Europe, from Canada, and so on. And there was a roadmap, what we were supposed to do to do all these things for ourselves and to establish a technology development and manufacturing center. And as part of it, I started a project to build a foundry and machine tool center. We got land at Atomic Energy. And within 4 months, we have gone very far. Imported the first batch of equipment for the machine tooling. And I left 6 years ago. 6 years now, the equipment is lying down in the heat in Atomic Energy. The project has stalled.
This was under your tenure as minister?
Yes.
To build a foundry to machine tooling?
Machine tooling, so that we develop a capacity to build machine spare parts for ourselves. Now we can get things for agriculture, for industry, for education.
So as you speak, we don't have a center that manufactures any tools?
Nothing. Let me tell you.
So we import all of those?
Yes.
What stalled the project? Was it lack of funding?
I don't know. I left, and then that was the end of it. I'm told that yesterday or a few days ago, the new minister went there with a few people, but the way they are going about it.
Which minister? Minister for?
The environment. The one who is acting now, I don't know him.
That would be, I see, because they haven't appointed a substantive environment.
Maybe the acting one.
Wow.
Went there with some, but even from what I heard happen at the site, I think they need some tuition to get that thing done properly.
We're speaking to Professor Frimpong-Boateng, who has a lot to share. He doesn't think Ghana is working with a development plan. He doesn't like assessing governments without a long-term plan. We are discussing many issues. We'll talk about Galamsey and how the fight is going. We'll also look at the party that he worked under in the past years. How are they faring? All this and more. Stay with us.